Alright, so going into this matchup against a G-Fisk with Obstagoon, definitely a favorable lead. You just really need to watch out for the Earthquake here. So I do run Cross Chop on it, so it's going to be pretty favorable for Obstagoon. And I'm going to throw the Cross Chop. Make sure you're counting those fast moves from your opponent. Just make sure you shield the Earthquake. And I shield the Earthquake right here. And then just going for the next one. And then for some reason, my opponent just concedes right there. So I guess they don't really have a backup plan for a fighter lead. Hey everyone, so I got a pretty interesting, fun team for you all today. I didn't really want to spend too much resources on rebuilding mons I already had, so my idea was to build new mons I don't already have. And with Electivire and Magmortar community days happening, I decided to just kind of make a meme team and see how it went. And so the team I built was Obstagoon with Electivire and Magmortar. I actually already have an Obstagoon for Ultra League, but this one would be a strict upgrade. So that's why I decided to actually build this, even though the CP is actually really bad for Great League. And for Electivire and Magmortar, I didn't have any that was built for Great League or Ultra League at all. So I figured this would be an okay investment. I wouldn't say this team is a budget team per se, just because I did unlock both moves on Electivire and Magmortar, which is 75,000 dust. And I honestly was just going to use this team for a day just to see how it go, but it ended up working out a lot better than I thought it would. Okay, so getting into the matches right now, I lead with Obstagoon against G-Fisk. This is obviously a very favorable matchup. They swap to Ivysaur right here, and it is not Razor Leaf, so they are going to get to these moves fairly quickly. I decided to just fast move all the way down. Obviously, I am going to get hit with 2 charge moves, so I am going to have the shield here. But this G-Fisk is actually not going to appreciate these fire punches. So this is kind of why I decided to just farm down. They're probably going to have to spend at least 1 shield, maybe even 2, if I get to the next one fast enough. And I do. So yeah, Magmortar is very attack heavy, as well as Electivire. So they often win CMP, and also the moves hit quite hard. However, they're very, very glassy. Here comes Wigglytuff, and so I build up to 2 wild charges just to be able to do as much damage as possible. And before the debuff registers, if I drop the first one, I wouldn't have made it to the second one time. And then now I have the Cross Chop ready and take out G-Fisk. So obviously G-Fisk, fairly meta mon, but obviously a favorable lead for me, so that's why it does work out. But you'll see some unfavorable leads down the line in this video too. All right, Azu, also very meta mon. Electivire is pretty much my only reliable counter to it. The other 2 are quite bad against Azu, but I didn't expect to see too many Azu, so I was okay with this weakness, especially if it's an Azu lead. And I have a plan for Azu lead too, so you'll see that in a little bit. The coverage move of Flamethrower is amazing because it forces shields from G-Fisk, and surprisingly my opponent actually does shield it. I would have thought they would just let it go, thinking it was like an Ice Punch maybe. It does do about half health to G-Fisk, but I do just try countering down. And then they come with Tropius, another very meta mon. G-Fisk, Azu, Tropius. I mean, this is like open Great League all over again. But so I'm going to shield the Leaf Blade because I am fairly glassy, like I said before. Get the Fire Punch in, and this G-Fisk has to take me out as soon as possible because these Fire Spins are doing a ton of damage. And then my Obstagoon still has a move ready. So yeah, you know, obviously everyone has different resources they wanted to spend for Catch Cup. I personally didn't want to spend too much, but some people that do, it's tough to go against them, but it feels even better to beat them with this team. Alright, so with Obstagoon's Azu, I can't really swap because I don't have 1 counter to it, so what I do is I fake a Gunk Shot. My opponent has no idea, right? So I'm going to just keep building up. I was about to fake another one, but they decided to throw the Ice Beam right away, probably because they're scared that a Gunk Shot was coming. That's totally fine. And then now I'm going to drop the Wild Charge right away so I don't have to worry about shielding. And then here comes the Ferrothorn. Very weak, obviously, to Magmortar. And then I have the Thunderbolt coverage, so I'm going to shield this Sky Attack because that will probably near one-shot the Magmortar, to be honest. Alright, I actually go for a bait right here because I figured they want to shield this Noctowl. And once they shield it, I go straight for the Thunder Punch. Pretty much one-shot, or Thunderbolt, pretty much one-shot it from that range. And then now I just need to get to 1 Fire Punch, and this will KO the Ferrothorn. So even Azu lead, you have some play as long as they go for the shield right there, and think you're running Gunk Shot, which, you know, it's a very strong possibility, right? Alright, Skarmory lead. It's a neutral-ish matchup for Obstagoon, but the main thing is something like a Whiscash sweeps the entire backline. So when you have something where Electivire and Magmortar are both better against Skarmory, you want to swap to Electivire to really draw out. I almost always safe swap Electivire here just because it has a lot of coverage against a lot of things. Magmortar has okay coverage. I mean, it has the same types of charge moves, but Wild Charges is so much harder, and then Electivire can get to Flamethrower much faster than Magmortar can get to a Thunderbolt, I think. Alright, so having this coverage of Thunderbolt, really helpful because it does allows you to do some neutral damage, and then charging up to that Flamethrower, Fire Punch, really nice against the AWAC. And then here, end up still having the neutral matchup anyway, and that's totally fine. This is kind of tough because I do have a shield advantage at this moment, but these Night Slashes are not doing a ton, and the counters are doing only neutral damage as well. So I was really hoping for a boost early on. Unfortunately, I didn't get any, and it kind of worked out for my opponent because if I got a boost early, they probably would have regretted shielding the first two Night Slashes, but I do get the boost in the end right there, and it helps to finish off the Skarmory. Alright, so again, Skarmory lead, swap straight to Electivire. See if they have a Mudboy in the back. Whiscash in the back is deadly against this team, so if you could draw it out somehow, that'd be great. Maybe I should have just gone for the Flamethrower here, but I thought they would shield and they don't. So maybe Flamethrower would have just one-shot right there, but maybe they didn't think I had it. I don't know. But still end up drawing a shield, so that's fine. You always want to charge up to 2 Wild Charges if possible. Alright, so they come in Skarmory into Magmortar. This means they're really weak to fire in the back. And I think a lot of people aren't anticipating fire in general just because fire is pretty sparse in Great League meta, especially Open Great League. And so I farm down, almost farm down the Skarmory. They swap out, and it's a Cherrim. And then so they're running a double grass Skarmory team. I think double Razor Leaf too. So yeah, kind of like a Bastiodon double Razor Leaf team. This team actually does usually lose to Bastiodon double Razor Leaf. I haven't gone against one though. But with the Skarmory in the lead, it's much more feasible. Alright, Obstagoon, great lead. However, great swap of my opponent right there. So I do charge up a little extra and then go for the Wild Charge. It should one-shot, yep. And then now I can go straight for the Flamethrower. Again, apply all that pressure with Electivire. Smartly, my opponent does decide to shield too, so I guess, I don't know. I would have thought that less people would shield the Flamethrowers, but I don't know, maybe people caught on, I don't know. So I do let this Rock Slide go, and then here comes the Abomasnow. I do shield this, and that's fine. And then I bring in my Magmortar, just farm all the way down, and then a very great spot to be in. These Fire Spins are about to take the Sheathis out, and then I have energy on my Obstagoon. So I'm going to just shield and just Fire Spin down from there. Alright, another Abomasnow lead. So just because you have a great lead doesn't necessarily mean you win the match. So they do swap right here. Altaria is kind of tough for this team. You'll probably see more Skarmory than Altaria anyway, so that's why it's a weakness that I'm willing to accept. And then dropping Ice Punch on Electivire for Flamethrower does hurt your Altaria matchup. If you have Ice Punch, you definitely have a much better Altaria counter. But without it, you pretty much have to debuff yourself and just drop Wild Charges. My opponent double shields, and it was a good read by them because they know they have to win Switch Advantage here because they don't want to be matched up against this Obstagoon. So my whole goal with this Obstagoon is weaken this Altaria as much as possible. So they go for a Sky Attack, that's fine, and I go for another Night Slash, and that's all good. And I go for my Magmortar, and then here comes the Whiscash. Yep. So nothing you could do at this point, right? My Obstagoon was stretched a little bit thin because I had to kind of check Altaria, and it obviously doesn't have the capability to check Whiscash as well on top of that. So yeah, so anytime you see a Whiscash in the back and your Obstagoon's ready taken out, that's pretty much GG's. I did play a lot of my sets after the Whiscash or the Barboach Spotlight Hour, so it's not that people didn't have access to it, but a lot of times you would lead with it or you're able to draw it out with Electivire, right? Unfortunately, in that situation, I wasn't able to, and was unfortunately not able to win. So I do shield right there. You always want to count up to what might be a Blizzard just in case, because the Blizzard just makes things uncomfortable. They go for another move again, so I'm going to shield the Blizzard this time, and then I drop the Night Slash. Obstagoon does win this if even if they decide to go for a Blizzard next. If they shield, I swap straight away to my Electivire right here. I charge up a lot of energy. Probably didn't need to be honest. But yeah, and then just in case, I guess if they swap. But this is good because I have alignment with my Magmortar. Is going to resist mostly charge moves except for Hurricane. But doesn't look like my opponent has it or can get to in time. And then this is going to be a Skarmory, which is pretty good because now I could just counter straight down. Actually, I dropped a Night Slash, which makes sense. Weaken it a little bit, and then I guess chip away at this Whimsicott. It could be a little dangerous if they get to another charge move here. But Obstagoon is very weak to Charm, and they're not able to get a charge move time. And so able to take him out. So Whiscash lead, you definitely have to stay in. You definitely have to spend shields. Unless it looks like they're going straight Mud Shot right away, or Mud Bomb right away, I would just drop a shield just in case it's a Blizzard. Okay. Whimsicott. So this is a Charm Whimsicott, very deadly against this team. I do shield just to see if I can force a second shield from my opponent. I do. That's fine. And then I am probably gonna let this move go just so I have a shield for my Magmortar in the back because it is quite glassy, and Obstagoon can take one of these flame charges after it's been buffed already. And then here comes a Noctowl. So I do shield because I need to take out this Noctowl and then take out the Whimsicott after. So again, that coverage move with Thunderbolt, very key to helping win this matchup. And then Magmortar takes out Whimsicott in the back. It's just wild that Magmortar in the back actually can handle so many Pokemon. I really didn't expect it until I started playing my sets. Alright, against Razor Leaf, Whimsicott is slightly better for Obstagoon, but it's still a losing matchup because it is resisting all of Obstagoon's movesets, unless you're running Gunk Shot, which I am not. They do the smart thing and just farm me down and have energy for a move. I do have a shield up, so I'm going to shield here just in case they have other things weak to Magmortar in the back I need. And so they come in with Rapidash. So I'm going to throw the coverage move, a Thunderbolt right here. They shield. I don't know. It's interesting that people shield these. I would, if I were the Rapidash user, I'd probably just let it go. But yeah, it was a good call by them because it would have put them very, very low. And then now I'm just going to counter down the Rapidash and then just drop some Night Slashes. These Razor Leafs will still hurt, even though they're not super effective. And then I just Fire Spin down. Let's see what they have them back. Alolan Sandslash. I've seen quite a few of these as well, probably because they were spawning in the wild, and this definitely does not want to see Magmortar in the back. Alright, Togekiss lead. Very bad, obviously. At least Electivire doesn't have to go straight for a Flamethrower to take out the Togekiss, but they do swap out to their fighter. Unfortunately, I think I was a little slow on hitting the second charge move, so I wasn't able to get it out. But that's fine. I'm going to just counter down this Scrafty. I'm not sure why they went for Foul Play there. I don't know, maybe they wanted more farm for the Togekiss? I'm not really sure. But I do come in with my Magmortar at this point. I'm probably just going to farm down because they still have 2 shields, and I get some extra farm. And then again, another Alolan Sandslash. You love to see it. This is still going to be kind of close because they have 2 shields, and I have to get to another Fire Punch, but I do get to it in time. And take out the Alolan Sandslash. Alright, Obstagoon Mirror. What I found is that Obstagoon Mirrors, you definitely want to stay in because their backline is very weak to fighters. This whole line is actually pretty weak to fighters in general, so you're going to see some of that in the next few clips. But what I found is that Obstagoon leads, almost always, their backline is weak to Electivire and Magmortar. I'm not sure why, but it's kind of how lines are built, I guess. Oh, I guess in this situation, it's not necessarily the case because they actually have Whiscash. But again, Electivire swapping in here is very key to drawing out the Whiscash. And this one actually lets both Wild Chargers go, which makes my life for Obstagoon much, much easier. And then a Blizzard would take me out here, but if it's a Mud Bomb, I'll survive it. So I go straight for a Night Slash to prevent getting hit by Blizzard. I just let this one go at this point because I could probably Fire Spin down. But it ends up just being a Mud Bomb. That's totally fine. And then now I am in a very good spot and my opponent is going to concede. Alright. Primeape. Ooh, very scary Pokemon. It just has charge moves that charge very quickly. And I'm going to go straight for the Flamethrower here though, which would be nice. Hopefully I could draw a shield or take out that Magneton. But the problem is this Primeape is just hard to deal with. Against pretty much most fighters except for the Obstagoon Mirror, which Obstagoon's not a fighter, but it has fighter-ish roles. But for actual fighters and stuff, I usually swap straight to Electivire to draw a shield with Wild Charge, just because Obstagoon going straight head-to-head in that lead matchup is always going to lose against a fighter. Alright, so I do bring in my Magmortar to do some fast move damage. I probably could have just gone Night Slash there because it would have taken out anyway. Here comes the Alolan Sandslash, which is great. But I kind of make a mistake right here. I probably should have let it take me out because now this Primeape is loaded with energy and a close combo one-shot me. And yeah, really well played by my opponent right there. Obviously still a very unfavorable lead regardless, but I guess potential winnable depending on how you play in the rest of their mons. Oh, I guess Lucario is the other mon that you don't swap out in. And in this situation, it's because I know the Magmortar can just fast move it down after. So I do shield this one move. It's going to be close combat, and it's good that I shielded it. Now I have a little bit of energy. I go straight to my Electivire. So this is pretty good because I could either force a shield or almost one-shot it, and that ends up working out. And I have energy for a Wild Charge, which is perfect. Probably could force a shield here, but Mandibuzz is quite tanky, and this fire damage is only neutral, so I have to land this Thunderbolt and probably do a little extra damage on top of that. So I'm going to shield this first move. It's probably going to be a foul play, and that's fine. And then this might be another foul play. Magmortar is able to tank this, but it's still going to be very close, and I do get to the Fire Punch just in time. So even though this line is weak to fighters, you do have some play against fighters. All right, so Scrafty lead. This is going to be, again, you want to swap straight to your Electivire and just force a shield from your opponent right here. So if you can force a shield, great. If you land the Wild Charge, even better. But likely you'll land at least one unless they double shield. So let's see if my opponent double shields here or not. And they do. Okay, so not great to be honest. But Obstagoon will be able to tank one of these charge moves. So I'm going to tank the Power Punch, and I should be able to get to Cross Chop in time. That's why I need Cross Chop, because you are in quite a bad situation if you don't have it against fighters like Scrafty and Lucario. Alright, and I swapped to my Magmortar just to get one Fire Spin extra worth of energy. They took a while to swap in, even though they weren't switch locked or anything. And that made me think that they're probably weak to Magmortar back. And they end up bringing Skarmory, so I was like, okay, that's a good time. And then it's going to be Whimsicott, Magmortar with the backline sweep. Yeah, it's such a weird mon, but it ends up working out surprisingly better than you would think. Alright, against Alolan Sandslash, very favorable lead. You honestly don't even need to swap out here because Magmortar has a great matchup in the back. So I actually stay in here. Again, like I said, Altaria is kind of a weakness for this team on top of the many other weaknesses it has. But in this scenario, I do have a slight energy head start. I'm just going to stay in and just drop these Night Slashes. At this point, all I need to do is charge up to 2 Wild Charges, and I should be able to take out this Altaria. They actually go straight for Dazzling Gleam, which definitely would have KO'd from that range. But I think Sky Attack would have been fine too, just because Electivire is very glassy. So they do make the mistake of shielding that one. So I'm able to drop both. And then here, I think I probably come in with Obstagoon. Yeah, I come with Obstagoon here just because I want to draw the energy from this Alolan Sandslash. Then I come with Magmortar, so I don't get hit by a Bulldoze. This is not great because it's a water type, but again, coverage move with Thunderbolt works miracles. And then now I am just going to fast move down the Alolan Sandslash. So Slowbro, definitely a spicy pick, but with Thunderbolt you do have coverage. Again, very favorable lead right here, and then here comes Altaria. Is it the same player? This is almost the same team actually. I don't think it is, but I can't remember the username. Alright, so in this scenario, it's not as good. You definitely want Ice Punch here. Unfortunately, you have to debuff yourself with Wild Charges. If they double shield here, you're in a world of hurt. And then they don't double shield, which is nice. So I'm going to come in with my Obstagoon right here, and then just go for a Night Slash. I don't shield this just because I want to save the shield for my Magmortar. I just spammed this because I wasn't sure what it was. I thought it was going to be like a Wigglytuff. Ends up not being a Wigglytuff. It's a Toxicroak. Very bad for this team still. Like I said, it's weak to fighters. Toxicroak hits very hard and then does have Melt Bomb that's super effective. So I just go straight for fast moves here, and then I do throw a Fire Punch. Luckily the Alolan Sandslash is still in the back. Maybe I should have farmed down here. I'm not really sure. But I just didn't want to take a cumulative damage from the Ice Punches, or Ice Powder Snows, and then we end up tying, which tying with a Toxicroak in the back and an Altaria as well is a situation I'll sign up for every time with this team. Because like I said, it's very weak to fighters, very weak to Altarias. Alright, Rapidash. Alright, with Rapidash, it's an okay matchup. It ends up doing a lot of damage with Incinerate, especially after the first Flame Charge. They do swap to their Scrafty right here, which is not great. I think I let this first Fire Punch go, and then I go for probably, yeah, I can't go for double Wild Charge in case they get to another one. So I just throw it right away, hoping they don't shield, and they don't. And then here comes a G-Fizz. So this is an okay matchup. Luckily, I have a shield advantage. I don't know if they knew how much a Fire Punch would do. They probably didn't expect it because they probably haven't seen a Magmortar really. But at this point, I'm just going to double shield and then just throw this Fire Punch and hope they don't shield. They do shield, which is okay because I could just I tried to fast move down. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to. But I still have my Electivire. I can farm with a little energy, and now it's within Wild Charge range, so I'm going to throw a Wild Charge and take out the G-Fisk. Yeah. So, Alolan Raichu. Neutralist matchup. It's for the most part okay for Obstagoon, but the thing is, you are doing resisted counter damage, and Wild Charges still hurt quite a bit. They come in with their own Obstagoon. This is pretty good. Hopefully I can force a second shield from them. But I really need to take out this Obstagoon because it's very strong against my backline. They do shield, and then I swap into my Magmortar here instead. And I let this Night Slash go because I know I live it, and then I throw a Fire Punch. This is not a great spot for me to be in because the Alolan Raichu still has energy, and they do throw their energy right here. So I think I come in with Obstagoon maybe? Yeah, Obstagoon. Here comes Skarmory. Probably should have saved that energy, to be honest, unless my switch clock wasn't up. Oh, wait, maybe my switch clock wasn't up right there. That's fine. And then, good thing about Electivire is it is resisting that flying damage. So I do shield. I don't let the first one go. I shield second, and then now I can throw back-to-back Wild Charges. I actually don't know who wins CMP, Alolan Raichu or Electivire, but I just go straight for the Flamethrower. I guess Wild Charge would have been fine there. Oh, actually no, it wouldn't have been. Yeah, I'm actually glad I went for that. But yeah, I saw the Obstagoon in the back, so I ended up winning that match after the simultaneous KO from the Alolan Raichu and Electivire. Alright, Hypno. Pretty favorable lead, of course, unless they're running Focus Blast. But you should be able to gauge when they go for Focus Blast. Well, I say this, and I actually did get hit by Focus Blast off the bat once, so maybe I shouldn't be so confident about that. But yeah, there's play against it. Comes in with Wigglytuff, great catch by them. But now I'm just going to throw the Fire Punches at this Wigglytuff. They do shield once. This means that I should get to a second one and potentially force a second shield. Let's see if we do or don't. And then we do. That's fine. Now they're within range just for a Thundershock farm down with Electivire, which is always good. So I'm going to shield this and get a bunch of energy on this Electivire. Or I guess not a ton. I assume the Hypno's coming back in, so I quickly swap straight to my Obstagoon. Unfortunately, they catch the Night Slash, which ends up working out well for them. But at this point, I'm just going to farm down, yeah, with the Obstagoon and throw a Night Slash right here at the Hypno and take it out. So it ended up working out still pretty well after a favorable lead. Dewgong, also pretty solid lead. Obstagoon is not nearly as threatening as a fighter against Dewgong as some of the other fighters. Unfortunately, it looked like my opponent actually lagged there. Not sure, so they might have been missing a few Ice Shard damage, unfortunately. So I throw a Night Slash right here because I know that one Wild Charge will not be enough to take out this Altaria. I kind of want them to just drop their energy first, and now I'm going to switch. Oh no, I stay in. Huh, why did I stay in here? I think Electivire swapping would have been better. Maybe not. I don't know what I'm thinking right here. Okay, anyway, I go in with Electivire at this point. I can't really Thundershock down this Altaria, so I do throw the Wild Charge. And then here comes the Dewgong, and then I'm going to shield in case it's a Water Pulse, because that would probably near one-shot me. And then I'm going to drop a Fire Punch. It will do neutral damage right here, but Magmortar is pretty attack heavy. And then they bring in a Skarmory. That's fine, because now I could just Fire Punch it and then bring it within Thundershock range. So I think I'm going to Thundershock it down or build up the 2 Wild Charges first. Yeah, no, Thundershock it down, and then now I could drop. Do they still have a shield? Why am I charging extra here? Yeah, they do have a shield. Okay, that makes sense. And then now I throw the second Wild Charge. Alright, and then yeah, wrap up that match. Alright, Umbreon lead. Fantastic. Especially if they're not running Last Resort, which is possible for Catch Cup. They might not have spent a league TM on it. They swap straight away to Skarmory. I do shield, and the important part about shielding in the Skarmory counter swap is if you don't shield that Sky Attack, they could win if they double shield and just air slash you down after you throw the Wild Charges. So I actually think it's always important to shield that matchup just to ensure you win that switch advantage back. And then obviously nothing really wants to come back into Electivire anyway, so they'll probably have to spend a shield, so you end up getting your shield back that you spent, right? Here comes a Beedrill. Unfortunately, this is a very hard counter to my opponent's team, and so I am able to just do a ton of damage just with Fire Spins alone. They go for Sludge Bomb, which makes sense. They're probably not running Drill Run because they probably have to Elite TM it. But I do survive the X-Scissor, and then at this point, I just go straight for the Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt, I think, does a little bit more damage than Fire Punch if you could only get to one move. But either way, this match is pretty much over, so I'm going to just drop the Cross Chop right here and take out my opponent's Umbreon. I think a little bit lag right there, but yeah, it's pretty much over. Alright, Magneton. I haven't seen too many of these, but it is very favorable for Obstagoon. And then here comes a Mandibuzz. So I'm going to tank the first move because I do survive it. And then I'm hoping they don't shield both of these wild charges, because then I could be in a little bit of trouble. So I could just build up 2 though, and then they don't, and then I drop a Flamethrower, hoping they don't shield this. If they do, great, because I get shield back. So they do shield, that's fine, and then I drop another Flamethrower. Let's see if this one goes through or not. And it does, so unfortunately a lot of energy wasted on that Magneton, and then that's gonna be GG's. I was able to actually climb up into the leaderboards at one point with this team, but yeah, it probably doesn't hold up in the top level competition against the very top of the leaderboard using meta teams, but it does have some play, and so I enjoyed using it. A big shout out and thank you to all my patrons who've been supporting my content creation. If you would also like to have early access to some of my strategies and lines, feel free to sign up to the Meta Breaker tier above in the link down below. If you like this video, feel free to give it a like and share, subscribe for future content, hit that notification bell to get alerted right when I post a new video, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.